I took 2 steps forward, stopping by a sofa, my hands on its back. If you're immortal, why were you afraid of the electric chair? He smiled slyly, looking at me. Trying to find my weak spot? Thinking electricity could kill me? I said sharply, but you used a cruel lie to make me help you escape from death row. True, he said. I'm immortal. The electric chair can't kill me. But what happens when they see it doesn't work? What then? I didn't answer. No one had ever lived through the electric chair. How could I know what they would do to someone who did? He continued, they would sentence me to life in prison in name only. In truth, I would become a test animal. They would cut me apart piece by piece to study why I can't die. That's why I needed you to get me out. I pointed at the shiny sickle. And this is how you thank me. He smiled in a cruel way. You caused this yourself. If you hadn't interfered, you would have gotten something good once I became rich. My money will be so much that I could build my own country or buy my way to become an emperor. Then, in my land, you'd be safe from being chased. I spread my hands. Too bad I didn't agree. I don't like being tricked, so here we are, right? He tilted his head back. Exactly. He stepped closer, and I stood still, my heart beating fast. I had already looked at the situation. If I could move before Bojin, Baijuqiang, or Luo Zhiqian pulled out a gun, I could break through the door and escape the room. Once outside, in the dark mountains and woods, my enemies wouldn't be these 3 immortal people but snakes and wild animals. Could I do it? Luo Zhiqian took another step. My hands held the back of the sofa. Another step, and the shiny sickle hurt my eyes. I pushed my arms forward, shoving the sofa hard. Its 4 wheels, made for easy movement, sent it flying forward with speed and power, hitting Luo Zhiqian hard. I didn't wait to see what happened. I jumped backward, doing a backflip. My many years of hard Chinese martial arts training helped me. The flip took almost no time but landed me at the door. I broke through it into the entrance hall, then rushed through the front door. Just then, whoosh whoosh, 2 spears flew at me. I fell flat, and the spears just touched my back and stuck into the door frame. I jumped up, pulled the spears free to use as weapons and for survival in the mountains, and ran outside. I was safe. I ran towards the darkest area, then crouched down without moving. Luo Zhiqian and Bojin shouted bad words from the house, followed by a lot of random shooting. I stayed low, not moving. Their wild shooting couldn't hit me. Bullets don't have eyes. I heard Bojin say angrily, I'll get the wolfhounds and search the whole island. Luo Zhiqian replied, hurry. If we don't, he'll ruin our plan. Even now, I didn't understand why they wanted to kill me so badly, or why they thought I would stop their plan. If I told everyone their secret, it would be free advertising for their anti-aging medicine, making people believe their claims of living forever. Yet they wanted to get rid of me. What was the terrible secret behind this immortality drug? I couldn't figure it out, and honestly, I didn't have time to think about it. My main goal was to escape. I needed a stream or river to walk through many times to make sure the dogs couldn't follow my smell. I moved backward quietly, and when I felt safe for a moment, I ran forward, rolling down a hill. Standing up, I kept moving until I reached a deep river, almost up to my neck. I swam across and back, splashing onto the bank, then repeated this 5 or 6 times before climbing the far bank and running onward. When I couldn't run anymore, I walked. When walking became too hard, I used the 2 spears as walking sticks, walking unsteadily until my body gave up. I fell, rolling a few times behind a large rock, gasping for breath. As morning came, I could see where I was. I was in a valley, surrounded by tall mountains, thick trees, and strange plants from hot places. Looking back, there was no sign of my path. No barking reached my ears. The wolfhounds hadn't found me. I was safe for now. Using the sharp tips of the spears, I cut 2 large, taro-like leaves to cover my body and closed my eyes under them. I was very tired and needed rest, even if I couldn't sleep. My mind was too confused to sleep. What now? I had found almost all of Bojin and Luo Zhiqian's secrets. Should I go to a populated area and tell the police that Luo Zhiqian was a criminal on the run? I decided not to. It was useless. Bojin had big power here. He could protect Luo Zhiqian. And he didn't seem like a good man. He might even be happy to get rid of him. So what could I do? Build a raft and sail away? That was funny to think about. All I could focus on was staying alive, not getting eaten by wild animals, not being found by Bojan and Luojikian, and not starving. In short, I had to stay alive. Only by living could I act. I lay there until noon, sleeping on and off before waking again. I walked slowly, eating what looked like edible fruits along the way. I kept moving, hoping to reach the sea. The coast might offer more chances to survive, but by nightfall, I still hadn't seen it. When darkness came completely, I was beyond tired. The last few miles had shown many poisonous snakes, so I didn't dare sleep, only resting briefly on clean rocks while staying alert. By midnight, leaning against a tree, my eyelids felt very heavy. I could barely stay awake. Then, a small light from a fire flashed through the trees ahead. The light made my heart jump. I pressed against the tree, not moving, raising a spear. It was a torch. Torches don't move by themselves, someone was holding it. Was it Bojan and Luojikian's search party? If so, I was in trouble. I stared ahead. The light flickered but didn't come closer, and no strange sounds came. Slowly, I relaxed. A search party would be noisy, not quiet. If it wasn't them, who was it? Another person on the run like me? I gave a sad smile. This island had many tough criminals. It wouldn't be surprising if someone escaped. My sad amusement came from the joke. If it was an escapee, I'd be with criminals. Making myself brave, I moved forward carefully. The torch hadn't moved, suggesting my approach went unnoticed. I stopped about 7 or 8 steps away, looking ahead. It was indeed someone holding a torch, just one person. He was short, dark-skinned, with a big head and thick, curly hair. Besides a cloth around his waist, he wore nothing. A bamboo tube hung at his hip. A native. He was squatting, one hand holding the torch, the other digging hard into the ground. A small hole had formed, but he kept digging. He looked like the natives I'd seen in Bojan's mansion and villa. That realization stopped me from calling out. If my guess was right, this native never aged, kept alive by the super anti-aging medicine. I didn't want to warn him. He was probably working with Bojan and Luojikian. I watched silently, unsure what he was doing. He dug with strong focus. After a moment, a squeaking sound came from the ground, and he stood up quickly. Now I saw what he was doing. He held a fat field rat in his hand. What happened next was disgusting. He poked the rat's neck with a dull knife. The blade wouldn't cut, and the rat squirmed, squealing, until it finally died. He tore off its skin and cooked it over the torch, barely cooking it before eating it. By the time he started eating, I knew he wasn't with Bojan. If he were, he'd wait to eat at the villa, not eat almost raw rat in the wild. Convinced, I decided to show myself and stepped forward.